Welcome back. Well, the House of Commons is winding down its first week, so we brought in our extraordinary Thursday trio of MPs. Conservative Aaron O'Toole is Parliamentary Secretary of International Trade, Elizabeth May, Leader of the Green Party, and, not to be outdone, Nova Scotia NDP MP Robert Chisholm. Welcome to you all. All right, Elizabeth May, you can cut through the baffle-gab and all that stuff. This summit's over, or mostly over. Anything come out of it?
The Energy Summit with Greg Rickford and Moniz, very, very underwhelming results. We have an agreement to continue to collaborate in things we've always collaborated on, energy in terms of an electricity grid infrastructure, talking about carbon capture and storage. The big missing piece, which the Harper administration itself used to say was its goal, the Continental Climate Plan. Climate's not mentioned in this. We've got a global climate summit occurring next week in New York. Yeah. The Prime Minister will be in New York but doesn't plan to attend. And climate has been now removed as what used to be. I mean, when Lawrence Cannon was Minister of Foreign Affairs and Jim Prentice was Minister of Environment, that was the goal, right? They were going to wait till Barack Obama was ready to talk about a continental cap-and-trade strategy. Look how it's just disappeared. They don't talk about it anymore.
But Jim Prentice is making some pretty encouraging noise out in Alberta about this, by the way, just so you know.
He was one of the ministers.
All is not lost, Elizabeth May.
Oh, well.
Robert, did you sense anything that made you go, wow, we're going green here in Canada all of a sudden?
I mean, you know, finally somebody woke up to the fact that they've been smacked around pretty hard by the Obama administration, given the full court press they put on with respect to Keystone XL. And they just wouldn't get any of the hints about the fact that you guys have to do something about emissions. You have to do something about the environment or we can't play. And so this is, I think, the Harper government finally recognizing that they've fallen deeply behind. We still haven't heard, of course, about the new regulations on emissions that Peter Kent reportedly had ready. But
years ago, though.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think they've been forced to do something. It's just simply not good enough, and it's long overdue.
Aaron, are we going to be able to get back to normal with the Americans until we get a decision on Keystone? Isn't that sort of standing in the way of an awful lot of goodwill going forward?
No, Don, it's not standing in the way. I think today was a great example of two close partners working together and continuing to advance the agenda. There really is an energy policy on a North American basis already. We've got the transmission grid that is connected. We've seen that when there's been problems with that, it affects both countries, both economies. There's dozens of pipelines that run across borders. Certainly Keystone.
70, he said.
Is it 70? Yeah.
And he wants 71, though.
And have been for decades. And what we clearly feel is Keystone is the best way to bring our petroleum products to market, allow us to get more value for them. We would like to see that move in the U.S., but this shows that the dialogue continues, and we're looking at ways to do things better. We're looking at the carbon capture and storage. So this is part of our relationship with an important partner.
At least they're talking. I mean, what's wrong? I know. Okay, never mind. You're going to say it's hot air and it's not helping at all.
I mean, the Secretary of Energy of the United States and the Natural Resources Minister for Canada have signed a document that says very, very little. It's ongoing collaboration in a number of areas. Energy efficiency, yes, absolutely great. But where is a continental strategy to actually reduce emissions? That's not under discussion. And I think it's significant that that something that Harper had put up in the front window in 2008 has now disappeared below the basement.
I've got to get your thoughts on this story. It's the cost of not paying your cell phone bill. My daughters know the cost of that because they keep forgetting. But anyway, late fees were $275,000 in 2013. This is clearly a straight-up waste of money because it's unnecessary, and if it was properly managed, we wouldn't have this. Aaron, what's going on? Can't you pay your bills on time?
You're right, Don, that is a waste of money. The good thing is we've already set in motion a number of changes and actually a consolidation of all the shared services and wireless and data coverage that has already resulted in savings of about $57 million. Those charges and those fees are unacceptable. The good thing is the indication we've been given is the consolidation that's not just saving money on plans for different departments, that sort of thing. That consolidation should also lead to less of the late fees. I have to also add, Don, as you know, our wireless policy is also geared towards more competition in the sector broadly. We want to see Canadian cell phone bills come down, because when I was young, there was one phone line into your house. Now I meet families when I'm out in my riding in Durham. They have 4 bills coming into the house. Parents, kids, we want to see those bills come down, and that's been our policy for many years now.
Nice segue, but anyway, I'm curious what you think, Robert. He has basically admitted it's a waste. I guess you can't do anything more than admit that.
Yeah, well, they tend to do that when they get caught, but then they don't. It takes them forever to actually fix the problem. We've seen that with the Department of Defense and filling those mental health professional vacancies. But in this position, I mean, they set up this position in this new department in 2012. They're going to consolidate all of these functions from the other departments. It was going to save money just because they haven't been very transparent in letting us know what's going on, whether it's saving money at all, and then we find out that you know, they're not even paying the bills, for heaven's sakes. I mean, it really is crazy. It's one reason why we keep asking this government to explain why they're doing this or why they're doing that, and to provide us with information. You know, the lack of transparency is just outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, there's some new secrets, like the cost of Viagra for soldiers, they won't tell us, the cost of satellite office, the cost of ads. Okay, Elizabeth.
This department, and Robert's absolutely right, this is a new department that was supposed to save money, rammed through in an omnibus budget bill, no transparency. So Shared Services Canada gets set up. By the way, the overall size of government has expanded under Stephen Harper. There's certain areas that have fewer employees, like environment and parks and fisheries. Others have grown. This is a whole new department, and it looks a lot to me as though the reason they wasted so much money was they hadn't quite figured out who's paying the phone bills, and they let them go for, I mean, it doesn't strike me as a coincidence that Shared Services Canada was created, and then ever since then we've seen overdue charges that amount to, it's not small change, $280,000.
But we can't lose sight. I don't like to see a cent wasted. I'm a conservative, so I said that clearly to you, Don. But the plan to consolidate will actually, the real money is here on the plans, the data plans and the usage. There will be $57 million in savings. So I don't like to see anything wasted, but I think if Canadians see what the consolidation is doing with shared
collateral damage, I guess.
We're going in the right direction.
And all we've asked, and all we continue to ask on these and other things, Aaron, is when you say that it's going to do this, it's going to do that, show us the evidence. When you get these things going, show us the evidence that it's actually going to save money. You've not been very good at doing that.
I have another
I can't
topic.
blame Aaron personally. So.
I've got another topic. I'll never get to it, but I need 20 seconds from you two. You're from Atlantic Canada. There's close connections with Scotland over there, Cape Breton and Nova Scotia. Do you feel either way on this Scottish referendum thing?
I said to my wife yesterday, I think, I don't know how much Scottish blood is still in me, but I'm feeling something.
Yeah? You want him to go alone?
I'm feeling a little wound up about this. So
It's
I
pretty
don't know.
exciting stuff.
You know, the Scottish people will decide, and it's very interesting.
Sitting on the fence. Okay, what do you think?
As a British Columbian from Cape Breton, gotta say there's that as a Canadian, no question. I hope they say no. But there is an emotional attachment and an excitement, and the Green Party of Scotland is all for the yes vote. And so my colleagues in the Greens there are campaigning for a yes because Greens believe in more grassroots democracy. I respect whatever they decide, but for the good of all of us, I hope they say no.
Aaron O'Toole, you got 20 seconds to explain your lapel pin. I know you wanted to make a quick statement about something.
Well, thanks, Don. I'm wearing a PPCLI pin. This year, Canada, two of our infantry regiments, the Vandus and the PPCLIs, are celebrating 100 years of service to Canada. PPCLI are this weekend in Ottawa. The Prime Minister was in Quebec City this summer to celebrate the Vandus. I think all Canadians take pride in their service and sacrifice. So I'm wearing the pin and proud of both units.
Wait, this is the Gold Ribbon Campaign. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
Sorry, one promo on lapel pins
Gold
a year.
Ribbon Campaign.
All right, thank you all. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.